Hello, myself Vinay Kumar Banda. In this presentation, I am going to explain about the personal expense tracker mobile application that I have developed for emerging mobile application assessment. So in this app resources, let's go on to layout, activity login example. This is how my login page looks like, where the user need to enter email, password, and log into the application. And the register XML. This is how my register page or layout looks like, where first time user need to create an account by using email, password, then click on the register to register into the application. And next, add expenses. This is how the expense page looks like. Title, we need to add title, amount, date and time, location, and save expenses. This is how we add an expense in the application. Item expenses. After adding expenses, this is how the items expense looks like. Expense title, location, amount, date and time, and we can edit the expense or we can delete the expenses. This is main XML and this is the location and this is the pie chart insights where the user can see the expenses in the in the in the form of pie chart or graph diagram. So now let's move on to the application. So this is how the applications looks like. So let's, as we have already registered with the application, let's enter email and password to log in. Enter the password. Press login. So we have already added the expenses. Let's delete and add. So let's log out and save. So let's register with a new email so we can clearly explain about how we add the expenses. After entering the email and password, click on register. So after register, we are logged into the application. When we can find the dark mode, we can use the dark mode or the light theme according to the user. You can see sort by date, filter by category, like we can sort it by date, time, or location if you want. So now let's, these are two buttons in the application. We can see log out and view insights. So if we, so first let's add some expenses. Add expenses, title, let's keep title as food, amount, date, select date and time, select location, save expenses. So the expenses items looks like, we can see the title, location, date and time, title, location, amount, date, and time, and we can edit or delete the item expenses. So let's add some more expenses. It will well 150 date and time. Save expenses. So let's add location. Save data. Save expense. This is how the item expenses looks like. Fuel. Let's add one more. For example, groceries. Amount, date and time. Save location. Save expenses. So this is how the app looks after adding the item expenses. We have added three item expenses: food, fuel, groceries. We can sort it by date or location or amount. We can edit or delete the item expenses if you want. Now let's view the insights of the expenses. This is how the chart looks like. We can see the fuel, groceries, food, fuel, groceries in the pie chart. So this is how the app's insights looks. So this is how the app looks like. So now let's log out and same. Login to login, enter your email, password, login, and we can see the our expenses. Now let's move on to the use case diagrams. So, so this is the presentation of the personal expense tracker (PET). So the main purpose of the application is to help the users to manage their personal finances. The key features of the applications are user registration and login, record and categorize expenses, visualize spending and charts, sync, and with the users can sync their data to cloud, and they can use the dark mode if needed. So use case diagram. The use case, we can see the use case diagram where the user can, for authentication, first if he is a first time user, he need to register, and if is already an existing user, then he can log in for authentication. Then the user needs to be add an expenses in the application, and then the user can view the expenses history, or the user can delete the expenses or update the expenses with the existing expenses history, and they can filter the expenses, like they can see the expense by sort, by date, time, or location, or by amount. Then the user can see the insights of the expenses he had spent and he had added in the application. Then the user can log out. This is how the use case diagram looks like. The next class diagram, the user class has email and password with the user can register or log in, and it takes it the file-based action for authentication. And the add expenses, the user can add the expenses with title, amount, date and time, and location, and then he can save the expenses. And in the Firebase repository, the user can fetch expenses The user can update expenses, the user can add expenses, or the user can delete the expenses. And in the analytics phase, the user can list the expenses and generate the pie chart where you can see the insights of the spends you had done. So in the next sequence diagram, this is how the user interface Firebase looks like, where the user logins or signups, then the data registers into the Firebase, and the if he is already existing user, the data shows in the Firebase. And after adding an expenses, it stores into the Firebase and it shows on the home screen about the expenses or item expenses he had added. Then you can update or delete the expenses if you needed. So you can update or delete in the Firebase. Then the user can view insights and fetch the data and show the insights of the spends he had done. Then the user can log out from the application. And the design patterns used in this PET MVC model view controller, observe pattern and respiratory pattern and singleton patterns. The UI screen of the application looks like where the first authentication screen in which the user can see the login, register with the Firebase authentication, and the home screen, the user can see the latest expenses and add new expenses and view insights. And in the add screen expense screen, the user can input the expense data where he can add the expenses. And in the insight screen, the user can visualize the expenses with the graphs or pie charts where you can see the spends expenses in the form of pie charts or graphs. This is how the login and register page looks like. This is how login page looks like where the user can see the welcome to my app. Then he need to enter his email, password, login. And if he's a first time user to create an account, he need to enter an email, password, and register. This is how the expenses page looks like. Title selection, data picker, date picker, location tracking, etc. And this is how the items and view insights, where the user had added the items expenses like food, grocery to transport, and this is how the insights look like, where you can see the pie chart of the expenses he had done, and we can see the test plan, integration tests, where the test Firebase authentication, register, login, test adding experience expenses to the Firebase, test filtering expenses by category, date, location, like sort the user can sort it by date, location, or amount, and it can see the generation of the pie chart. In the next slide, running demo and code walkthrough, like I have gone through the application, we can add the expenses management, data visualization, and features. In the conclusion part is, as we have already discussed, the personal expense tracker is successfully provides a user with an solution for managing personal finances by adding time, date, and where he has spent, the location, etc. Everything. And the application has some strengths, future improvements, and limitation as well. Like the app is easy for the first-time users with this interface and secure user login system and visual insights with charts. And in the future improvements, so we can add some budgeting features, expense predictions, recurring expenses, and enhanced data validation. And the limitations of the applications are handling large data sets, Firebase file store, query limits, limited offline functionality. So these are the some strengths, improvements, limitation that are needed to be done in the future for the application. Thank you.